this is gonna be what if Deku was a badass, because I thought it would be a good idea and I thought about it for a long time. But yeah, anyway. So, I'm start it off. Oh, no, I have to describe his quirk. So pretty much Deku's quirk will be, luck, I guess. So how it will work, so anything he does will end up being lucky for him. Say, he, rolls the dice, he'll get the highest score, or whatever, but, pretty much anything that he needs will happen. But, say a truck's about to hit him, a tree might fall over and hit the truck and, blowing it up, but Izuku will be fine, so kind of bad luck for everyone around him. But yeah, and this is how Izuku will look, because, yeah. Anyway, so yeah. Izuku's born, he has white hair and yellow eyes. Hisashi's like, what's up with him? Why does he have white hair? I'm gonna say Hisashi has black hair. And Minko's like, but it's fine, it's probably just his quirk. Hisashi, he gets mad. He's gone now, because that's the only reason why I think he might have left. But yeah, anyway. So, Izuku has a pretty normal life for quite a while. Inko's nice to him. Hisashi's gone. Yep. So, I'm gonna say he's 4 now. Little time skip. And he is not currently in Bakugo's primary school, but in a different one. And they have gone on a trip to kind of like a field trip to a area, like a construction area. Just to kind of have a look around, see what they do there. It's nothing kind of like a little high-rise building. But yeah. So they get there, they meet the manager of the site. They walk around, they check everything, they see people using their quirks for certain things. Some would say they got a special permit or something. They're just doing things that would be cool to show kids, I guess. So it's been pretty. So they've been there for a while, I'm gonna say a few hours now. It's the afternoon, 4 o'clock maybe. They spent a lot of time there. They're at the front of the gate. Well, not really gate, at the front of the building. The manager's talking to the teacher, saying, oh yeah, it was quite a lovely day, thank you for visiting, or whatever. And then it starts getting really windy, really windy, kind of like hurricane or tornado. Well, I know they're exact same thing, but windy, that type of windy. But there's no actual tornado. And they're standing underneath a crane. And it's blowing a lot. They actually, I'm gonna say it was holding steel beams. And it is swaying a lot, from left to right. It's probably it's almost going over the crane, I guess. And then eventually the cable holding it snaps. It's falling down. They've heard the noise, but it's too late now. All the steel beams fall. And at this point, this is when Izuku's quirk activates. I'm gonna just call it Devil's Luck, because why not? Saw it in One Piece, I thought it was cool. But yeah. So, that's what I'm calling his quirk. It now activates. It pretty much affects the world around him. It just changes everything, really. So, all the steel beams fall onto the ground, killing a lot of children, teacher, and the manager. But Izuku's perfectly fine. There's nothing wrong with him. They kind of just there's a little cave where he is. He's fine, but everyone else is, yeah, no. So, people on the site call, police, ambulances, and, firemen come there. They're trying to, all they're finding is bodies, nothing good yet. Well, yeah. So, and they're looking to everything, and Inko, she heard about, a load collapsing from a crane and killing multiple people on this site, and, Inko knows that's where her little baby was. So now she gets into the car. She pretty much, speeding. Not really speeding, she's getting there as fast as she possibly can without doing anything illegal. But yeah. She gets there and, she's pushing past everyone, get out of my way, bitch, my child's in there. Anyway, so like she gets up to the police tape and she says, "Is my child safe? Is my child safe?" Officer's like, "Excuse me, ma'am. Please calm down. This is a scene right now. We're not certain of any living people, or we have found his bodies." And she kind of just jumps over the thing. Like she just doesn't care about anything right now. She wants to see her baby. So like police officers are trying to detain her. Like she got that mom strength, I guess. People, how people say like when, like sometimes mothers lift cars for babies, yeah, whatever, that kind of stuff. She got strength. I don't know. That's like, she's just pushing past everyone. I don't really care about that last bit. So she's pushing past people, and she like gets there. She's trying to talk to like the head officer, like in charge of this scene. She's starting to talk to him like panic, like kind of understandable. Officers, calm down, ma'am. We are doing all we can. Just please wait. He orders someone to get her in an ambulance, get her to calm down. Like anybody they will pull out, she can have a look at. But yeah. So after about 30 minutes, they've gone through pretty much everything. They've found the bodies of most of them. Then they hear a help. Oh yeah, I haven't been describing what Azuku's been through. Well, for the past I'm gonna say it's been an hour. Azuku, he's been trapped in there. He's been getting air and stuff, but he is very scared. He doesn't know. He can't hear anything. He can't see anything really. It's pretty much pitch black. Then he's kind of gone into shock a little bit. He's shaking, as you would when all your classmates are killed. But yeah. So he's shaking and everything, and he's scared. So he's yelling out help as much as he can, but he just can't hear him. But yeah, that's pretty much what he's been through. But so they eventually find him, and they're using those hydraulic cutters and super strength quirks to get all the steel beams off. They finally get him, pull him out. He has he has nothing on him, no scratches, no bruises, a little bit of dirt, but nothing else. They're kind of amazed, wow, well, not wow, okay, well, that's very good, he's fine. They bring him into the ambulance, and they rush him to the hospital just to do checkups because he's the only live body they found. But yeah, so he gets in. They just done medical checkups, not decided to check his quirk because they just realized that he might not be willing to do anything right now. So then they check him up. He's fine. His heart rate's normal. Well, kind of a little bit faster than it should be, but that's just due to shock. His breathing's a little bit unstable, but due to shock as well. Kind of like that. You kind of feel like you're choking when you're sad or whatever. I don't know, man. But yeah. So he's they just say, okay, he's fine. Just take him home and get him plenty of rest. He should be fine within a few days. So Inko takes him home. He puts him to sleep. Izuku, he's gonna be pretty scared of a lot of things for quite a while. Yeah, so he never ends up getting his quirk evaluated. So they just kind of listed down his quirk list because nothing flashy appeared, explosions or electricity or whatever. Nothing really flashy happened. But in reality, his quirk is pretty much always active. But yeah. So I'm gonna do a time skip. Azuki, he has been transferred from the school because he had to shut down for a while. So they sent him to another school, which is now Bakugo's middle school / primary / high school. But yeah, pretty much he's been registered as quirkless because he never got his quirk evaluated. So Bakugo, he still bullies him nerd, quirkless idiot. I don't know. But Izuku, it's now high school, and Izuku pretty much looks like this. Cause yeah. But so, teacher walks in. Alright, everyone, please fill out these forms so we can see what you want to be in the future. Everyone's groaning oh, you little piece of shit, why the fuck do we have to do that? No, they don't say that, they say, oh man. But, and the teacher kind of smacks and says, just kidding, I don't know you want to be heroes. Bucker stands up. Like, don't let me in with these losers, teach. I'm the only one that can be a hero. All these people are going to be sidekicks of sidekicks. In the Bakugo speech. And the teacher tells him to sit down. He says, what, Bakugo, just sit down. Looks like we have 2 people going to UA. Quite interesting. Bakugo's like, nani? And he says, okay, Bakugo Kachi, yeah, I guess so. Very strong quirk. 8 grades are... Oh, and Azuka Midoriya. The teachers quite like him, I guess, because he's always quiet, he always does his work, he has good grades, he never complains about anything. But yeah. So, the teacher says, oh yeah, you can probably make it into the general studies. I hope you do well, Azuka. He says, yeah, thanks, teach. I probably forgot to mention this, but Azuka, he has picked up a few hobbies over the years. Like, because he's never got his quirk evaluated, he just doesn't really know why, but he's always, like, good at, like, gambling, all that kind of stuff. Like, he just does it sometimes, like, little things. Nothing illegal. He likes shooting guns at... Ooh. I would watch that. But yes, he shoots guns because it can't relieve his stress. Like, yeah. And he likes to practice fighting. Because, yeah, he needs to get a certain set of skills. But, yeah. So, after class ends, I had to explain that. After class ends, Izuku's kind of packing up his stuff. And Bakugo, like, when he's bullying him, I kind of might have misled that a little bit. It's more or less verbal assaults, because Bakugo has never been able to actually land a hit on Izuku. For some reason, something has always happened, He trips over a rock, and he gets lost in the crowd. Just random stuff happens. And Bakugo thinks, this is the perfect opportunity, no one's around, nothing can happen. Nothing. So then he walks up to Izuku, and he tries to put his hand on the desk, and he misses. He kind of like falls over a little bit. He's like, Izuku kind of like smirks a little bit, like kind of like lifts, like smirks. But yeah, and like Baku gets up even madder now. Like, what are you smiling at, nerd? And Zuko's like, oh, no, it's fine, sorry. Like, he's really scared of Bakugo. Baku just got too mad, so, he tries to throw, like, a palm at Zuko, with an explosion. Then, I'm gonna say, a bird flies through the window, shattering the glass. It doesn't die, flying through the window, hits Bakugo's arm. Pushing it into his face, making him explode his own face. Actually, no, that's not what I meant. Sorry, it flies through the window, hits his hand, now it's aimed at his feet. And, so, like, he's, like, it explodes his feet, like, his shoes are destroyed, he's, like, got, like, some minor burns and some severe burns on his, like, feet. Some on his legs as well. Like, it will recover within, like, a few months, whatever. But, yeah, so... he's, like, on the ground, like, fucking bird. Zuko kind of packs up his stuff and says, bye, Bakugo. His cronies are kind of, like, lifting Bakugo up to, like, bring him to the nurse's office. Zuko runs out because he's scared what might happen if Bakugo was fine. But, yeah. So, and you may be wondering, Zuko isn't a badass yet. What the hell, man? It's happening soon. But so, he's walking home. Like, he's like, okay, good thing Kashan didn't do anything. Or Bakugo. Or good thing. I don't know what the hell we would call him. Good thing that blonde. I don't know. Good thing Bakugo didn't do anything that might have hurt. he's walking underneath the tunnel, and like he has a drip, drip, drip. Like he sees like kind of like a green fluid on the floor. He looks up and sees the sludge villain like kind of plastered on the walls, like kind of like hiding. It kind of just drops down, getting like onto his Izuku, saying like, "I need your body, kid." No matter how many times I'm gonna say that, it just sounds weird to me. Whoops. So like he's kind of engulfing Izuku, well, going around, and yeah, that makes it feel right. But yeah, so like Izuku, he can't currently breathe right now. He's like, oh, what? Oh my, where's the hero? Like, someone help me! Like he's trying to yell, but he just can't. Physically impossible right now. He's trying to scream for help. He's crying. He can't see anything because like it's around him. He can't hear anything. Except like, and then like eventually like he's been holding his breath for about a minute now, rather than like however long it was in canon. Like he's pretty much like screaming at the top of his lungs, no matter how hard he tries, no one can hear him. And then he hears like, "I am here," because All Might has a loud voice, I guess. And he hears, "I am here," coming in like "I am here." Then Detroit smash. The sludge villain gets blown away, and Izuku's kind of just left, like, kind of gasping for air, like, on his knees, like. All Might says, "Whoa, kid, like, are you okay?" He says, "It's like, yes, All Might." He says, "Oh, okay, like, do you need me to take you to the hospital?" He says, "No, I'm fine." And Izuku kind of just gets up. He's like, he just doesn't really care at this point. Like, he's happy that he survived. Like, it doesn't really click in his head that it's All Might right now. Like, it's like, oh yeah, hero saved me. I'm alive. But yeah. So he's walking away. He picks up his bag, kind of still gasping for air. Like, he walks away, and All Might's like, "Kid, would you like my signature?" He says, "No, thanks." All Might's pride kind of hurt, like, okay, but I'm All Might, like, bruh. So, like, All Might's like, "Okay then, okay," he just starts bottling up the sludge villain, and yeah. So Izuku gets home that day, he's fine, and as soon as, like, he kind of, like, arrives home, he's like, "Wait, that was All Might." He's like, "Oh, damn it." Kind of just like, oh man, he's just like, why? But yeah, so for the next few months, or no, like for the next 2 months, Izuku just does, like, he doesn't really train that much. He just, does simple exercises. He shoots guns and more, and he does some gambling little things. Like, I don't know what the actual legal age is in Japan or in actual, like, any other place, but I'm gonna say it's legal. Correct me if I'm wrong, but it doesn't matter right at this point right now. But, I'm like, it's been about 2 months now, and Izuku, he's walking around. He's, like, bored, so, he's walking through the city, and he comes across a coffee shop. He sees, like, a lot of people in there. He's like, must be pretty popular. So, like, he walks in, and, like, it says, like, "Oh, congratulations, you are our 1 millionth customer." And Izuku's like, "Oh, really? That's cool." He says, you'll get free coffee." He says, "Oh, sweet." In the car. No, I'm just kidding. But, so, like, they give him a free coffee, and, like, he just has, like, he enjoys his time there. He spends, like, 30 minutes, whatever. And then he has to go to the bathroom. He goes in there, he does his stuff. And, like, during while he was in there, like, there was a villain on the loose. I'm gonna say he had a sound quirk. Like, it amplified his hearing, and he could create sound balls or whatever. I don't know, sound beams. Sound waves, yeah, that's better. But pretty much, like, he can hear everyone's heartbeat, and, like, it got so annoying to the point where he just kind of went insane and started killing everyone he saw. So he's currently on, like, a killing spree, being chased by the police and stuff. You know, he sees the coffee shop, he walks in, like, he runs in, and, like, the police officer's like, damn, he has hostages now. But, you know, everyone's scared, and, like, he's like, damn it, I can hear it all. So he pulls out, like, a gun and he shoots everyone in there. You know, Izuku hears the bangs, like, of the gun. You know, he walks out like, huh, what's happening? And the villain sees him, like, his quirk kind of did something and his heart stops. Like, he will survive, but his heart stops. This is only to make sure his survival, like, his quirk. You know, like, he kind of just flops to the ground. Everyone's like, huh? Whatever. And he, like, he's like, yeah, oh yes, it's a perfect opportunity. You know, he picks up Izuku's body because it's the freshest, I guess. It looks the freshest. Nothing, no paling or whatever, like, just, he alive, dude. But yeah, so, he pretty much holds him, like, opens up the door and says, if you don't let me go, I'm gonna kill him. And the police was like, okay, sir, please, just put him down and we will let you go. And says, he says, well, actually, then he goes back in, the police officer didn't say anything, actually. But, you know, he's been, like, sitting there for 5 minutes. Izuku, he is still conscious, even though he is technically dead. And I was realizing, like, what if I don't get back up? Like, I didn't live my life at all. Like, no, I haven't done anything. And I've been afraid all my life to do anything. I haven't experienced anything. I've never had a girlfriend. I haven't done anything. Then, you know, like, the police announce on the microphone, like, we are willing to meet your demands. And, you know, the guy picks up Izuku's body, kind of, again, you know, points a gun to his head. And, you know, he opens up the door and starts walking out. And this is when Izuku's heart starts again. You know, his quirk starting it again. Izuku's like, huh? And he, you know, fighting instincts, you know, he kind of, like, gets free of the guy's grasp. That sweeps his legs out, grabs him, like, pins him to the ground, and, like, puts just, like, a little bit of force on him, like, pretty much a citizen's arrest. Because if you don't know, if you hurt someone, like, you can arrest someone as a citizen, but you can't put too much force onto it, otherwise you can be in trouble. But yeah, sorry for the noise in the background if you can hear it, that is just a garbage truck. But yeah. So, like, he pretty much pins him to the ground. Like, this happened in, like, a matter of seconds, like, 2 seconds. Actually, probably, like, 2 seconds is a long time. Actually, no, it's not. Yeah, it was 2 seconds. 3. And, like, he pins him to the ground. Like, guy's trying to struggle, but, like, Izuku, he's pretty strong. Like, he is, like, I'm gonna say, you know, he kind of that lean buff, I guess, whatever. But yeah, so... And, I don't know, he breathed all again. I don't know, whatever, doesn't matter. You know, like, the police kind of rush up, like, what? Okay, thank you. Thank you, civilian. He says, don't worry about it. But yeah, so, and, like, Deku, like, he, like, gets let go. Like, they checked him for, like, any injuries. There was none. And then, like, while he's walking back, he's, like, thinking, like, that I almost died. Like, I died, and I haven't done anything with my life. I gotta do something. So, like, this is pretty much how Izuku, he's gonna get a badass personality. He's pretty much gonna act bored all the time, I guess. But anything, like, he just does everything, like, badass, I guess. Whatever. So, like, he pretty much, his reason for becoming a hero will be, like, he wants the adrenaline rush of fighting someone, I guess. So it can be exciting. So he can do something he always wanted to do. But so, like, he gets home that day, like, he tells Inko what happened, like, she's, like, so worried, like, are you okay? He's like, yes, mom. He's like, I'm just gonna go somewhere. like, actually, no, he goes to, like, they have dinner, like, he goes to bed, next day, like, he's walking around, like, he thinks, okay, what could I use, like, for my hero work? Like, I could use weapons. He's like, he goes to his gun store. Well, not gun store, yeah, well, he just goes to a random gun store. He sees, like, all, like, he's pretty good with everything, really. Shotguns, ARs, snipers, pistols, SMGs, marksman rifles, everything pretty much. But he thinks he can't have something too big that would probably hinder his work. Something more like snipe. But like revolvers have a low ammo capacity and like what if he misses, which he has never done. So he like wants a pistol, like 2 pistols. I know it's kind of like pretty much a stereotype for like if Izuku has guns, but he will have pistol 50 or Desert Eagle, whatever, 50 caliber pistol. He'll have 2 of them, like 10 round mag, whatever, compensator for to stop recoil. Yeah, that's what it's for. But yeah, he's like, okay, yeah, that'll be good. Like, can you just deliver them to my house, please? Like, oh yeah, sure. Can you please write your address? Yeah, he writes his address, whatever. Then like he's walking around like, okay, guns are good, but I need something for like close range. And, like hunting store, I guess. I don't know. He gets pretty much to like short, like I can't exactly remember what they're called. I know they're in Call of Duty, Modern Warfare. I'd not own that just in case. Yeah, like they're kind of like 2 miniature katanas, so I'm just calling that for now. But yeah, so he gets 2 of them because I like them. And yeah, and one more thing, I don't know how exactly, but he'll get like metal cards, like with razor edges on them. And instead of having like ace, king, queen, whatever, they will have the Grim Reaper on them, like, death. Because sometimes he does see him, because Bakugo has nearly killed him a few times, just somehow, like, just in some way. And like he has experienced near death occasions multiple times in his life, like more than a normal person would. Not even like that incident with the sound guy, but yeah. So he'll get pretty much metal cards, and some are explosive. But yeah. So he gets everything he wanted. The pistols, the miniature katanas, and the cards. And pretty much how he will use his cards, it will be pretty much his luck. He can throw in, like, no matter what, it'll hit his target. Like, no matter how far away, no matter how hard, like, it will literally go around corners. Even if it was just going straight, it'll kind of, like, curve around the corner. But yeah. So, yeah, so he pretty much trains for the rest of the, like, 8 months. He's, like, done a few things that kind of excite him now. Like, nothing's kind of boring, like skydiving, bungee jumping, a few more things. I don't know, I gotta think of more. But yeah. He's done a few of them, but now he's pretty much just bored of them as well, so he wants to do some actual fighting that'll excite him. But yeah. So, on the day of the entrance exam, Izuku, like, he is bored, like, and he has a habit of sometimes shuffling his metal cards. So he wears black leather gloves all the time, so it doesn't actually slice up his hands. But, like, he pretty much just shuffles them, like, I don't know, he just shuffles them. It makes a little bit of noise, like, tiny bit, but yeah. So now he's just walking through, like, a few girls looking at him because he looks exactly like it does in the photo. Sometimes I regret doing the stuff like this, but yeah. So he's shuffling his cards, he's not really focusing. Then, like, he sees a girl about to fall over. I'm sorry. You know, like, he looks and, like, he could have caught her, but she falls flat on her face, you know. A few people are laughing, and, like, it's obviously Uraraka. Honestly, I think I could have done that with anyone, but Uraraka just makes me laugh. Well, watching her. I'm sorry. And he pretty much just walks by, I think, like, clots. You're just walking by, and, like, she looks up and sees that he could have obviously caught her. She's like, what a bitch. You know, like, and Ida, like, walks up to her and says, are you okay? And she says, yeah, I'm fine. She says, well, I wonder why, like, he said, like, that boy over there, well, I wonder why he wouldn't pick you up. Like, why wouldn't he save you? Like, well, probably just a ruffian. You know, Azuki just walks through, you know, he sits down, like, waiting for everyone. Like, well, no, he just gets in, like, the, like, written exam. You know, he does it, like, he gets pretty good. Well, actually, he gets perfect score. He pretty much just closes his eyes and just writes whatever. He doesn't even read the questions, but whatever he writes, it just somehow works. Like, it gets perfect score. So, you know, he gets first place. You know, he corrected Nezu. Like, Nezu put in some things that, like, he purposely put in so people might correct it, but he also didn't realize some things. But Izuku, he somehow circled them and corrected them, whatever. But yeah. So, you know, like, then it's like, now he's waiting. And, like, he's in the big, full, like, area where President Mike will explain. You know, he's sitting down and shuffling his cards. And, like, a few people walking in. Ida sits behind him. He doesn't really recognize him yet because he hasn't seen his face, but, you know, then Bakugo, like, he sits next to Izuku, like, kind of grinning as he's like, nerd. And, like, but yeah, so everyone sits down eventually. And, you know, President Mike comes in like, okay, everyone, I'll be explaining the rules. You know, he explains pretty much all of them. You know, 1 pointer, these are lowest points. You can go for them if you want, but it's not recommended. 2 pointer, you should go for them. They are the most medium target, I guess. And the 3 pointer is the one that you really want to go for if you have strong quirks. Then, you know, like, he says, okay, now. You know, Ida stands up. Excuse me, you forgot to mention the 0 pointer. If this is not... I am very disappointed in you for not mentioning this. And you there with the white hair and the earrings. Stop playing with those cards. It's annoying everyone around you. He just kind of gets like, huh? He kind of looks back, like, kind of putting his head upside down. He says, huh? Oh, yeah. He says, it's not annoying anyone, is it? He looks to his left. Like, it's just some random person. He says, is it annoying you? She says, oh, what? She says, me shuffling my cards. She says, wait, you're shuffling cards? He says, yep. You know, he looks to Bakugo and says, I know you didn't notice. You know, he looks in front of him. Like, the girl, like, I don't know, some random person, I don't know. You know, he says, like, did you notice? He says, like, nope. You know, he says, okay, Four Eyes, no one noticed or even cared except you. And maybe instead of focusing on me, you should focus on what President Mike was saying. No, fuck off. And he says, okay, President Mike, you can continue. He says, thank you, young man. Okay, as I was saying before I was interrupted. And he continues and says, you know, everyone gets where they were supposed to go. Izuku, he's, like, there. And, you know, and, like, he's just waiting at the front. He sees no reason to, like, talk to anyone. But, yeah. So, no one's talking to him either, so he's just kind of sitting there shuffling his cards. Ida is annoyed at him. But, yeah. And, you know, the gates start to open, and, like, as soon as it does, Izuku just walks through them. You know, everyone's going like, wait, what's he doing? He's cheating. He can't do this. And like Izuku's already walked about like 20 meters out of the thing. And like President Mike says, "What are you all doing? What are you all doing? There is no countdown in the real fight. Go, go, go!" And everyone's like, "Oh shit!" Ida, he outpacing everyone. So like he runs past Izuku, kind of like ruffian. He sees like a 3-pointer in front of him. Like he's kind of like now at least 10 meters away. Then like he's like, "Okay, I can do this." And like he looks to his right, and all he sees is like a card, like kind of just twirling there, like it's kind of like in slow motion. Or he sees like the Grim Reaper on it. He's like, "Oh shit! Well, I guess the ship now." Yep. And that's the only picture I could find that I liked. Well, the only picture that, whatever. The only picture that wasn't weird. But yeah. Yeah. So and like I'm just continue with the story. So like it flies like past his head, and like he's like, "Huh?" Sees him like, and then like time kind of speeds back up for Ito. It cuts off the robot's head, like hits a wire, and like it makes it explode. And it returns to Izuku. Ito looks back like, "Huh?" He sees Izuku just kind of like playing with his cards again. He's like, "Wait, did he do that?" And like he just kind of stands still for a second. Izuku just keeps walking. Says, "You might want to continue, otherwise you will lose. Otherwise you won't get any points." And he just continues walking. Pretty much throughout the exam, all Izuku does is pretty much just throw his cards in any random way, and like they will always end up killing a robot or destroying it. 1-pointer, 2-pointer, 3-pointer, like always hitting vital points, making them explode, and somehow the cards will always return. But yeah, the teacher's like, "Oh wow," like Ned's like, "Excuse me, could you please get up that boy's information?" And like it says, "Okay, Izuku Midoriya, gender male, age 18, school, blah blah blah, quirk not evaluated." Huh, that's interesting. He must have a wind quirk on being able to control his cards like that. Everyone agrees. And like that might also be why he has white hair. But yeah. So like he just continues that for pretty much all the time. All of the time. And like he's like near an area. He's a boom, 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 boom. And like some crashing of rubble, people screaming like, "Ah, get away! It's gonna kill us!" And he walks through an alley, and like he sees the 0-pointer. And like he looks and like he's like, interesting. He throws like 8 cards at it, like it just kind of hits its chest and does nothing. They stick in, but it does nothing. Then he sees Uraraka about to get crushed. He says, "Oh well, I guess I should probably use one of them then." He throws an explosive card, like only one. It hits the robot, and it pretty much makes like a explosion about like Bakugo's like gauntlet size. Because it hits the thing robot, and when the smoke clears, like its head is pretty much half gone. It's falling backwards because like it lost a lot of its like circuit boards or whatever. It's falling backwards, and Uraraka is now safe. She says like, thank you, can you help me now?" Izuku just pretty much ignores it, like, it doesn't matter that much. Someone else can save her. He climbs on top of the robot, and he's walking out to the chest. He grabs his cards back and says, "Well, that was good." He jumps back off the robot, and like Uraraka's still trapped. He says, "Can you help me, please?" He says, "I only saw you a few times using your quirk, but isn't it 0 gravity? Meaning that you can lift anything off you, even rubble?" She kind of says, he says, "Exactly," and just continues walking. She lifts it off her, but she realizes she has the sprained ankle, and like Ito run up and help her. I'm kind of making them, be Yeah, because sometimes I hate Ida, sometimes I don't, but I pretty much just hate Uraka. But yeah, I'm sorry for any Uraka fans. But yeah, I should change my name to Uraka Hater. Yeah. No, I won't do that. Probably just change it to nothing. But yeah, he goes home that day and like his mother talks to me like she kind of realized like Azuki, you're kind of different. Like you changed a lot. He says, "What do you mean?" She's like, "Well, you're not scared anymore. You're not like frail or like anything like Azuki, he's pretty much like I don't know, like he's a lot different now. Like his face kind of changed because like he isn't like always kind of scared. Like he's kind of like he looked a little bit like Azuki, a tiny bit, like when he was kind of scared. But now he's not. He just looks like exactly like this. No more baby face. But yeah, he's like, oh, I guess I have. I will. He says, like he says, anything wrong with it? She says, no, it's just. I just kind of miss the old Azuki. He says, "Oh, sorry, Mom." But yeah. So, eventually after a week or whatever, he gets a letter saying, "Congratulations, Azukuma Doria, on passing the UA entrance exam. Please report to class at this date and please wear your uniform." But yeah. So, Azuki, on the day of UA, he's going there, he walked there, and, he isn't late, but, so, pretty much what happened, Aizawa got up, a minute before everyone was supposed to arrive, and he's been talking for, 59 seconds. He's like, "This is unacceptable, blah, 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 I'm Aizawa." And this is when Azuki walks through the door. And Aizawa says, "Hey, you're right on time." Azuki says, "Lucky me." He just sits at the one free spot. That's not a Ramonetto. Which is kind of at the back next to her, I guess. Female overhaul. I couldn't think of an actual name, so I must call her Kai. Because why not? And instead of being, the Yakuza leader, I'm gonna just say her, the guy that originally owned the Yakuza, that kind of old dude, was her dad or something. And, Eri is her, kind of adopted sister. Eri has a good life, so, yeah, whatever. And, the only reason she wanted to be a hero, so she can enforce the quirk laws a lot harder. That's what, rather than just wanting to get rid of the quirks in general, but just, enforcing them a lot more. But, yeah, that's why she wanted to become a hero. But, yeah. He sits down, Aizawa says, "Okay, now that everyone's here, please, put these uniforms on and go outside, and we'll get ready for a quick evaluation test." Azuki just gets up. He doesn't really care, about orientation or anything. He gets up, grabs the uniform, and just walks out. Aizawa says, besides the first thing, I quite like him. Everyone's Aizawa says, "What are you guys doing? Go." And oh shit, fuck. So while they're getting changed, Kirishima walks up to Azuki. He's like, "Hey, what's your name?" He says, Azuki. He says, "Hey Azuki, how'd you get so ripped?" He says, "Oh, I practice fighting and I work out quite a bit." He says "Oh wow, that's so cool. Can you send me a workout?" He's like, "Okay, I guess so." He puts on his shirt. He walks out. But yeah, so he's just waiting there, silently, shuffling his cards again, because, Aizawa says, "Hey, kid, why do you have the cards?" He says, "Oh, I like them." Aizawa says, "Oh, okay." Not prying into any personal detail. Whoops. But yeah, so, and everyone comes out, And like Aizawa says, okay, now that everyone's out here, can Izuku Midoriya please come up? You got first place in actually both exams. Everyone's like, what, really? He got first place? Like, Izuku, he had pretty much destroyed like every single robot like that no one could reach. Like, his cards are reaching like halfway across the city. Well, actually all the way across the city. Like, it was a spectacle. Like, every teacher was pretty much watching him. But yeah, so he got like a total of like 200 points. You know, he walks up to the thing and says, Aizawa says, okay, use your quirk to throw the ball. And you know, like, Izuku says, alright. He throws the ball and like, he's just getting pretty far, like 120 meters so far. Like, you know, everyone's thinking like, huh, what's happening? So I was like, maybe will he use his quirk? And, you know, then pretty much like a gust of wind, kind of like a miniature tornado kind of forms right as soon as the ball is about to hit the ground. And it pretty much makes like an air cannon. You know, it gets sent up flying so high, like almost getting out of the orbit. Then like coming down, you know, like it went like 953 meters. Everyone's like, what? Like, what happened? And no one, like, Aizawa wasn't really shocked because he knew what he thinks is a wind quirk is quite strong already. So he's like, oh, okay. You know, he says, okay, go back now. Zuko says, alright. And he walks back. Baka is fuming, you know, foaming from the mouth. But yeah. And like rest of the test, the Zuko, like, he gets pretty much average on everything. Like in the race, like at least 2 people tripped and like 1 person got a leg cramp and like he got first. Like not first on that, but like in his race. And he's pretty fast in general anyway, so yeah. So yeah, and you know, like that was pretty much it. Like overall he pretty much got like 5th place or whatever, beating everyone just kind of due to physical strength. You know, like Momo getting first, Yoriki getting second, female Liverpool getting third because her quirk can kind of do a lot of things. You know, whatever else, doesn't really matter. Baku getting 4th and Izuku getting 5th. And Baku's getting mad, like, not only did, like, he not get first, but Izuku is, like, in, like, his league. So you're like, yeah. And, like, Aizawa says, okay, the expelling thing was just a ruse, but if you do anything to mess up, I will expel you. So, please, so your lessons are, the day's over, please report to your dorms. And I was like, wait, dorms? He said, yes. You may decorate them any way you want, as long as you do not change any big aspects of it. Everyone's like, oh, okay, that's cool. And then, like, Izuku's dorm. It's pretty much gonna be, like, luxury, I guess. Like, because, you know, he gambles a lot. Well, not a lot, but quite a lot, so he has a lot of the money. Like, in the millions, I guess. And he gives quite a lot of it to his mom, though. But, like, so they kind of have, like, a pretty decent house right now, I guess. But, yeah, so his dorm was, like, good. Like, he has, like, his, like, pistols, like, in a drawer. His miniature katana in a drawer. Like, he has pretty much, like, a whole entire drawer, like, of packs of his cards. Like, pretty much 50 packs of 52. I ain't even gonna do the math for that, but yeah. You know, yeah. And he has, like, a few things, like, darts, whatever. And, like, once everyone's done, like, all the girls are like, how about we do a room competition? Like, okay, so we can see everyone's rooms. And, you know, like, everyone's walking through, like, they do everyone's room, and, like, Izuku's was the last boy one, like, Todoroki's, like, the Japanese one, like, bruh. Still don't understand how he did that. But yeah. Like, they open up Izuku's room, and it's pretty much like, whoa, like, it is good. Like, it is amazing, just, like, I don't know how to describe it, man. It's just, no matter what, you would want that room. But yeah. Everyone's just kind of, like, in awe. Like, like, a few people, like, they don't go looking through the drawers, because, yeah, invasion of privacy. But yeah. Izuku says, okay, you've had your look, now go. Everyone's like, but it's so cool. Like, all, like, the girls want seconds, like, yeah, our rooms won't be anything compared to this, he's the winner. Well, the boys are like, what? Even Todoroki's like, what? I put so much effort into my room. And Zuko's like, really? I didn't put any into mine. Like, actually, I only put a little bit into mine. And I'm like, what? Whatever. This guy is so cool. Like, some of the guys are thinking. The girls are like, yes, he is perfect. I don't know. But yeah. So, like, a week has passed, and, like, they've gotten to know each other. Like, Izuku, he is friends with Kirishima, Denki, Tokiyami, pretty much everyone, I guess. Except for Bakugo. And Todoroki is, like, well, actually, no, he cool. Like, he had that good childhood, like I promised. But yeah, so, he happy, he ain't gloomy. So, like, he friends with Izuku. Like, pretty much the only person that's not his friend is, like, Uraka, Ida, and Bakugo. And, like, female overhaul doesn't really talk to him much, but they kind of friends, I guess. But yeah, there will actually be a reason why she will like him. But yeah. Like, her quirk has been, like, what if I was... So, a week has passed, and, like, they're just in the room waiting for Aizawa to do the lesson. They hear thud, 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 thud. The door fly open. I am here, coming in like a normal person. And, like, everyone's screaming and shouting, and Zuko's like, yeah, okay, cool. Like, female overhaul, she, like, thinks that almost just to show off, so she kind of is like, okay. But yeah, so, and Omei does the speech, like, okay, heroes vs villains, blah, blah, blah. But what's a hero without their costume? The wall pops out, everyone's like, oh, wow, yeah. And, like, now, like, everyone's grabbed their costume, they're getting changed. Izuku, so it'll pretty much be, like, a suit, I guess, like, like a long sleeved red shirt, like that button up or whatever, like, like, kind of like a black vest with a red tie, and like long kind of suit pants, black ones as well, and pretty much he will have, like, on his back he'll have, like, two kind of his knives handles, like, so he can kind of just grab behind him and pull him out. On his sides he has his two guns, and like many kind of, like, pockets in his, just somewhere random on his vest he has his cards. And, like, he gets changed, like, in the locker room, and, like, this is when Mineta, he's, like, looking through the hole, he's like, yes, the boys from, that they have left us a secret, like, I shall indulge in the pleasures or whatever. And as soon as he's about to look into it, like, he has a, like, he pretty much, like, cocked one of his guns, or, like, got a bullet loaded into the chamber. He's pointing it to Mineta's head and says, not many things annoy me in this world, but I do not like that. And Mineta's like, yeah, I'm so sorry, please just let me live. He says, fine. He, like, ejects the bullet and, gets his mag out and put it back in. Yeah, Chiro heard this, she's like, I wonder who that was, like, she tells the guys, like, someone saved us, like, they have a gun, so I think whoever has the gun saved us. from Mineta. And you're like, oh, okay. And her hero costume will be that, but yeah. And the only reason I think I remember it clearly, like, I've even seen memes about it, like, it is, like, when they were getting changed into their hero costumes. But yeah. So, you know, like, Deku's walking out, and, like, some of the girls, like, whoa, he looks good. You know, everyone's complimenting their costumes. You know, like, then the All Might says, wow, you all look like young aspiring heroes. And he says, wait, young Midoriya, are those guns? He says, yes. He says, aren't they, like, oh, they must have rubber bullets. No. Like, All Might's like, but, what, like, but you might hurt someone, he says. No, I won't. He's like, well, okay then. And, like, everyone's kind of scared, like, wait, I thought those were rubber bullets. I'm gonna think, like, wait, I actually could have died. And pretty much what these bullets are, they're already, I'm gonna just say they're already banned for war. Or pretty much, like, when they hit something, they, like, will go in and kind of, like, explode a little bit, like, causing, like, little bits of shrapnel into the body. Actually, you know, I ain't gonna do that because I already know that's illegal in war, so it's just normal bullets, hollow points. They'll do a lot of damage. I'm pretty sure those are them anyway, but So pretty much, like, and All Might says, okay, teams will be Izuku Midoriya and Shisaki Kai. Okay, and versus Bakugo, like, Bakugo Katsuki and Ijiro Kirishima, because I'm pretty sure that's his name. You know, Izuku will be hero team, Bakugo will be villain team. And, you know, they're waiting outside. And, like, they haven't really said anything yet. And Izuku's like, okay, well, you can help me with the first bit of this task. She says, huh? What do you mean? Your quirk is quite useful. It's actually quite a good one. So you'll be quite useful. And she's kind of taken back because all of her life she's only heard that her quirk is villainous or whatever. Like, she can't be a hero or whatever. But this is the first person to say, like, her quirk is good, like, useful. Like, it can be a hero. And she's like, oh, yes, thank you. He says, okay, what I'll need you to do. Bakugo will probably wait up there trying to set up a trap, because he has never once hit me in one of our fights. So, he'll probably tell Kirishima to come down so he can fight me one-on-one. I should probably drink some water. But yeah, so he says, so I will need you to create walls around to help make cover. I will shoot him with my guns. It will do damage to him, considering that he can still feel pain. She's like, oh, okay, yeah, sure. So, like he says, okay, good. You know, he starts walking in. Like, as soon as he opens the door, she's saying, wait, why are you going? He hasn't said start. As soon as he opens the door and walks in, All Might says, heroes may enter. And she's like, oh, what? Huh? Nani? And she just kind of runs after him. And, like, now, like, they're walking up and eventually gets to the second stair. Like, second floor. And you're like, as soon as they're about to turn a corner, Izuku pulls out one of his guns, shoots, and, you know, it hits Kirishima in the forehead. Like, he was hardened, so the bullet didn't really do anything. Kirishima's like, oh, what the hell? Like, oh, that hurt. He says, oh, whatever, just come here, villain. Like, well, come here, hero. I will defeat you. Izuku kind of sighs and says, can you please do that now? She says, oh, yeah, sure. You know, she creates a wall, like, to stop Kirishima. Like, he punches through it, but, like, it just kind of slows him down. And, like, Izuku shoots him, like, 3 more times. It hits him in the forehead a lot. And, like, Kirishima's like, ow, that hurts. Like, what? Like, can you stop that, please, Mita, bro? He says, no, this is an exercise, and I have to do this. Like, fine. And like he says, like Atsuku runs back, like kind of walks back, and she creates a wall, and Kirishima hits it, and like he kind of puts his hand over his forehead, expecting a bullet to hit him. And like at this point, Izuku ran behind him, got out like one of his explosive cards, put it on Kirishima, and it exploded, causing him to fly into a wall. And like, everyone's like, "Whoa, what the hell? Like, what's up with that explosion?" And like everyone's like, "Whoa!" And like All Might says, "Ah, yes, that was one of Izuku's hero gear, explosive card, I think he called it, in the registration form." I was like, "Whoa!" Like that packed a punch. Now Kirishima kind of starfished in a wall. He kind of like gets out and is like, "Ow!" Like Deku kind of aiming a bullet, like his gun at his head, said, "I'm sorry, Kirishima, I didn't want to do this." He's like, "Oh, like I won't give up." Kirishima says, Deku says, "Fine." He aims it down at like a part where a man would not want to get kicked, punched, or literally anything. Aims it and shoots it twice. And now Kirishima's on the ground crying because it hurt, but it didn't like do anything. Like he's like, I'm just laughing at that, but yeah. And he says, "Sorry, Kirishima, I had to do it." Kirishima kind of like crying. He says, "No, you didn't." They wrap him up in the capture tape. And but now like he's walking up, and like now they get to the floor of the bomb, and like Izuku says, "Okay, thank you for helping me before, but I can do this now." He says, "It's fine. Baku's never beaten me once, you can't do it again." She's like, "Oh, okay." Izuku puts like his guns back into like their holsters. He takes out his blades. Everyone's like, wait, what's he gonna do?" And, like he walks in. Baku's kind of like turned his back, like, "I've been expecting you, nerd." And like he starts creating explosions in the sand, like, "Aren't you scared? Like you always are." This one, like, Izuku kind of smirks, like chuckles, like, "Scared." Then like the room kind of starts getting cold. Like they kind of like Bakugo kind of feels like a aura. Like everyone in like even in the like observatory, like they can still like they can feel like the cold in the observatory, and like they can just feel like a deathly presence around Izuku. And this is when like he starts kind of like monologuing, I guess. He says like, "Bakugo, since the 10 months we haven't met, something happened. Not sure what to call it, but something did happen. During my life, I have experienced too many near-death experiences, caused by you and some other things. But my quirk always saved me." Like Baka kind of like starting like, "What quirk?" He says, "Oh yes, people may be thinking that my quirk is a wind quirk. Well, they couldn't be more wrong. My quirk is actually called Devil's Luck. I am lucky. That's it, Bakugo. Nothing else. But that's what saved me from all your bullying and all these near-death experiences. But it turns out that's quite annoying to someone." And I kind of see like a silver blade go around Izuku's neck, and then kind of skeleton hands, like a skeleton hand like grab his chin or whatever. And like they see death like holding behind Izuku, like a skeleton in a black cloak. Now Bakugo's kind of on the ground, like, "Oh, what is that?" Izuku, like, what are you doing?" He says, "Oh, him, don't worry about that. He's just death. Turns out all those near-death experiences is quite annoying to him. He wants me dead. But my quirk stops that." So now he just hangs around. I see him I see him all the time. Actually, he's not a bad guy if you think about it, but yeah, I see him all the time. But like, actually, if you do think about it, like the Grim Reaper isn't actually a bad guy. Like he just takes you to the underworld or like heaven. Like, wouldn't it be lonely just to kind of go there by yourself? But yeah, I think it's kind of more just symbolic, the fact that someone actually, they kind of just put the blame on death. But yeah, so now like Inosuke just starts walking forward, and it kind of just proofs back into smoke. Like, he walks up to Bakugo, and he says, "You're pathetic, Bakugo." During the 10 months though, this is what changed me a little bit. It kind of just explains what happened with the villain. Like, my heart stopped. I experienced death for 5 minutes. I was awake during all of it. It was not fun. All I could see was black. I hadn't died yet, and death wouldn't take me. But then I wake up. I defeated the villain. Then I thought about it for a while. I've experienced death. Nothing is worse. Nothing. I have nothing left to fear. I already know what's on the other side. So if death's all I have to fear, then if I don't have to fear death, then I don't have to fear anything else. That's why I'm not scared of you anymore, Bakugo. And, like, he kind of like pokes Bakugo with one of the blades. He says, "But I think you're scared of me now, aren't you?" Bakugo kind of kind of shivering now, like from fear and the cold. And Mizuki kind of laughs like, "Well, guess we should end this." He walks around Bakugo and just touches the bomb. Almost says, your hero team wins?" Because he's kind of confused on what the hell just happened. But yeah. So now Bakugo's kind of just left there, and he says, he walks out the room, and like a few miles before, was like, what was that called? He says, "Oh, don't worry about it. Nothing important." He walks down, Kirishima's like kind of, he got back up now. He's like, Azuki's like, you might want to go grab Bakugo. He's fine, but not fine. He just continues walking, and, Kirishima's like, whatever. And, Bakugo's kind of in the room, kind of sucking his thumb. Fetal position, sucking his thumb, Azuki is scary, he's death, what? He's kind of just mumbling. Kirishima's like, what the hell did he do? He gets back into the room, and, he kind of just gets there and says, "Okay, what do we do now?" And then it's kind of just silence. Froppy, the kind of most confronting one, I guess, says, "I'm just going to address the elephant in the room. What the hell was that behind you, Asuku?" He says, that was death." She says, "Yes, we heard that bit, but why?" He says, "Well, my quirk keeps me from dying all the time. Some events do happen where I almost do die a lot, though. So it kind of haunts me, stays around me quite a lot." She's like, okay then. Well, that's okay." But yeah, so everyone else is kind of like Azuku's a badass, bro, he has death on his, he pretty much just used death for intimidation, he pretty much called, a god, I guess, to just intimidate Bakugo. But yeah. So, I'm gonna end it off there. Next part will probably be the USJ and Sports Festival. And yeah, so, see ya.